It's victory so sweet for everybody, for the entire Hoosier Nation, but also, it's super sweet to myself. I was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. I got declined to walk on offer to the University of Miami. Full circle moment here playing in Miami for all the friends and family.
The University of Miami didn't just lose the national championship Monday night. They lost their soul to a kid they told wasn't good enough to carry their water. Imagine being a top 15 program and letting the best player in the country walk out your back door because you were too arrogant to look at his tape. Guys, this is a Hunker Down Podcast, the only place bringing you this level of college football heat all year long. So please make sure you follow and like this video. But let's get into it, man. Let's talk about the Fernando Mendoza comeback. This isn't just a win. It's the most poetic eye for an eye in the history of the sport. Fernando Mendoza, he grew up in the 305. He lived less than a mile from the Hurricanes campus. He spent his childhood in orange and green face paint, dreaming of being the next great Miami quarterback. His mom, Elsa, was a star tennis player for the U, and the legacy was right there for the taking. But when it came time to recruit, Miami went blind. Fernando went to every single camp. He balled out. He begged for a shot. They didn't offer him a scholarship. They didn't even offer him a Miami football rejection letter. They offered him nothing. He literally asked to walk on, pay his own way just to represent his city, and they told him no thanks. So what did he do? He went to Cal, put his head down, and worked. While Miami was busy chasing 5-star flops in portal hype, Fernando was becoming a monster. Then comes the 2025 season. He transfers to Indiana, a program people called a graveyard, and joins Curt Cignetti. Now, guys, what follows next is the greatest college football redemption story we have ever seen. A 16-0 run, the first Heisman Trophy in Indiana history, and where does the season end? Hard Rock Stadium in Miami against the very Hurricanes that wouldn't let him walk on 3 years ago. He didn't just beat them. He dismantled them. He stood in the house he was locked out of and raised the trophy while Miami staff had to watch the kid they didn't want become the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. This is the national championship revenge that every overlooked kid in America needs to watch on loop. Miami didn't just miss on a player. They missed on a legend because they couldn't see the why behind the man. Look, Miami thought they were the gatekeepers. They forgot that the game isn't played on a recruiting spreadsheet. It's played in the heart of a kid with something to prove. Fernando Mendoza is the Heisman winner, a national champion, and the official owner of the city of Miami. Guys, we have to do a part 2. The response to the Fernando Mendoza story has been unreal. The love and the uplifting comments, man, they've been amazing. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. Tonight, we need to address the absolute meltdown happening in my DMs. I've got Miami fans swarming the comments, screaming at me, Matt, check your facts. Miami did offer him. We tried to bring him home. Do you guys really think that proves me wrong? You actually just made the story 10 times worse. But guys, listen, this is the Hunker Down Podcast where we bring you hot takes on college football all year long. So make sure you take this ride with us and give us a follow. It's appreciated, and honestly, it means more than you know. But let's set the record straight right now. Yes, when Fernando hit the portal, Miami finally woke up. The rumors were everywhere. People saying Miami came to the table with a massive NIL package. Some reports said upwards of $3 million to bring the prodigal son home. Think about the leverage Miami had. They had the money, they had the weather, they had his family right down the road. It was the fairy tale ending on a silver platter. But Fernando didn't look at the check. He looked at the culture. Miami treated him like a luxury item they could buy off the shelf because they were desperate. They wanted to pay for the finished product after refusing to invest in the raw material. And Fernando, he looked at that offer, looked at South Beach, and this time it was him that said no. He got on a plane and flew to Bloomington, Indiana. He went to play for Curt Cignetti. And why? Because when Miami was chasing stars, Cignetti was watching tape. Indiana didn't offer him a "we're sorry" check. They offered him a set of keys to the franchise. Most of all, they offered him belief. Fernando traded 80-degree weather for snow games. Think about this. He traded the glitz of the 305 for the grit of the Big Ten. That isn't a business decision, folks. That's a character decision. He wanted to play for the coach who believed in his arm, not the boosters who believed in his hype. So to all the Miami fans in my comments saying we tried to get him, you're missing the point. The fact you couldn't get him with all that money and home field advantage proves that your culture is broken. He'd rather freeze in Bloomington and win a natty than cash checks in Coral Gables and lose his soul. Indiana put the ball in his hands and said, lead us. Miami put a check in his face and said, save us. The history books will show that Fernando Mendoza is an Indiana legend, and the receipts show that some things like loyalty, belief, and respect are the only things in college football that aren't for sale. Miami didn't lose a bid more. They lost the moral high ground. Now, to the Miami fans flooding my comments saying, but Matt, that was a different coaching staff that missed on him. You sure you want to go down that road? If you need an answer for that excuse too, let me know in the comments and we'll see you in part 3. Well, you asked for it, so here it is, part 3. Miami fans, are you seriously still trying to pin this mess on Manny Diaz? Stop the cap. Just stop it. You guys are filling my comments saying it was a different coaching staff and Cristobal had nothing to do with recruiting Fernando Mendoza. Well, I'll pull the receipts, and what I found makes the University of Miami look even worse. If you thought part 1 and 2 were bad, man, you might want to take a seat. But guys, this is the Hunker Down Podcast where we don't stop when the confetti drops, baby. We bring you hot takes on college football all year long. So come on, jump in and take this ride with us. Give us a follow, give us a like. It's appreciated. And man, it means more than you know. But let's get started. Let's look at the calendar. Mario Cristobal was hired on December 6th, 2021. Remember that date. Fernando Mendoza signed his letter of intent in February of 2022. That means the self-proclaimed king of recruiting had 2 full months to drive 15 minutes down the road and watch the kid throw. And where did Fernando play? Christopher Columbus High School. That's Mario Cristobal's alma mater. He walks the halls of that school like a god. Man, he knows the janitors, the teachers, and the coaches by name. But it gets worse. Oh, it gets so much worse. I did some digging, and it turns out Mario Cristobal didn't just go to the same school. He played with Fernando's dad. That's right. Mario Cristobal and Fernando Mendoza Sr. were teammates. They played on the same offensive line in the late 80s. They bled together in the trenches for that school. So you mean to tell me you missed on the son of your own high school teammate? You looked at the son of a guy you went to war with and said, nah, he ain't good enough. This isn't a scouting error, man. This is a betrayal. Cristobal had time to flip half a roster. He had time to bring in his own guys. And who did he bring in for that 2022 quarterback room? Corey Brown, a 4-star project who ended up transferring to UCF because he couldn't hit the ocean from the sand. He took the stars. He ignored the bloodline. So please spare me the transition year excuse. Transition years are when you miss on a kid from California. Transition years are not when you miss on a legacy kid whose mom played at Miami, whose dad played with the head coach, and who is just begging just to walk on. Cristobal looked at Mendoza and basically said, you aren't Miami material. And you know what? He was right. Mendoza wasn't Miami material. He was championship material. Miami material is flash, hype, and off-season trophies. Indiana material is grit, development, and rings. So when you blame Manny Diaz, you're basically admitting that your current coach, the guy you paid $80 million to, has worse eyes for talent than the guy you fired. But here's the mic drop, guys. You can blame Diaz, you can blame the boosters, you can even blame the weather. But the reality is Mario Cristobal had the Heisman winner in his own backyard, the son of his own teammate for 8 weeks, and he let him go because he didn't have enough stars next to his name on a website. That isn't bad luck. That's just bad coaching, no matter how you look at it. So with that, guys, I'm out of here. And without further ado, you know what it is, baby. Go Dogs!
From Athens to the field, we got vengeance to settle. Beat the tide in the ring, now we breaking the bezel. Kirby scheming smart, got the plays on lock. Gonna stock the slinging dime, ever won't stop. They try to hold us back, thought they had the ring. But the